All right, I got some cautions for you when you're taking samples. All right, the first is called undercoverage. This is leaving parts of the population out of the sample. So earlier I talked about how that our sample happened to have no greens. Well, if you're sampling that in a way that is not covering the greens adequately enough, then you are experiencing undercoverage. If you call people on their landlines, okay, raise your hand if you have a landline. Yeah, I can't see any of your hands. All right. Um, you're going to get old people and you're going to undercover young people because not many people have landlines anymore. And the people who do are typically older people, not young people. So you're undercovering parts of the population. Non-response is similar. You're not getting their information, but not because they're not chosen, but because they don't respond. Okay? So this happens when we email, the district emails all the families and they say, hey, please fill out this survey. And we get back emails from surveys from 13% of families. Why didn't we get the other 87%? Because they chose not to respond. Okay? Or if your parents have ever gotten a phone call from like someone about elections and they're trying to get a survey and they're trying to basically get polls to see like how people might vote, and your parents are like, I don't want to answer those stupid questions, and they hang up the phone. They were chosen. They did a great sampling method and they chose your parents, and then they hung up. And so they didn't respond, okay? So when you choose someone and they don't respond for some reason, okay? Response bias happens when respondents lie, and often it's because you're asking an illegal or unpopular question. Even right now, as I'm speaking, there's the election between Biden and Trump, and some people think that the media has made it so unpopular to speak favorably of Trump that either there are people who are very extremely Trump supporters, but people who are in the middle of the road, they find it unpopular to speak support of Trump, and so they lie on the phone, and potentially it's deflating Trump's numbers and inflating Biden's numbers because it's unpopular to say you support Trump. Interesting. We don't know. There might be response bias in there, and maybe we'll find out. And then question wording is when you word the question in a leading way. Okay, one of my favorites is if I ask, do you watch cartoons? Or if I said, do you still watch cartoons? Okay. Another, actually, this would probably be response bias, is if you go and give a survey and you say, do you think girls look better when they wear makeup? Yes or no? And you have a girl ask the question while wearing makeup, you're going to get a lot more yeses. And if you have a girl ask the question while not wearing makeup, people are basically giving their opinion to match this person delivering the survey. And so there's a little bit of response bias. And the way it's designed is leading to things like that. Okay? So the other thing we want to talk about is what's called the sampling frame. Okay? The individuals from the population we are choosing from. So you saw this picture before. We're choosing those individuals from the population. But maybe for some reason we are missing, let me send this backwards, the way we are sampling, there's more people in the population, but our sampling frame is only able to capture certain people. All right. So whether we're missing people who aren't filing taxes, or we're missing people who don't have email, or we're missing people who don't check their email, or we're missing people who are at work during work in the night shift, or maybe you're sampling during the daytime and you're missing the two family incomes where there's nobody home during the day and you're going door to door, but no one's home because everyone's at work, right? Or maybe you're sampling people who are coming through a toll booth and you're missing people who don't stop at the toll booth because they have a fast lane. Whatever it is, your sampling frame is really the individuals from the population that we're choosing from. And a lot of times our sampling methods reduce our frame from the entire population that we're trying to capture to a sampling frame that's a portion of the population that we're able to capture from. Okay? That's the concept of sampling frame. Now, Two things. First, we can conclude association or correlation between variables, but not cause and effect. That's what will be the gold standard that we get with a well-designed experiment. So we can conclude an association between variables or a correlation if you have a linear relationship between variables, but not cause and effect. When our sample is representative of the population, and our sample represents our population well, we can infer that whatever results, whatever correlation or association we found in our sample, we can infer that we would find the same association and correlation in the population. Okay? And so that's inferring upwards from our puny little sample to the giant entire population. And that's why we do what we do. And that's the idea of if you've mixed up your chili and then you take a spoonful to taste that little sample of chili, you infer that the population is being adequately represented by the sample. And if that sample is needs more salt, then the whole population probably, you infer, needs more salt. All right, good luck and farewell.